this event, and it's always been a very gratifying experience to witness it. The Hall of Fame Committee consists of 9 volunteer members, many of whom are former Hornell athletes and or contributors. I would like to thank each of you for your time and dedication to the Hall of Fame. Special thank you, though, goes out to Amy McMorty Mayo, our Hall of Fame Secretary, for her diligence, patience, and commitment, and special touches in organizing this evening's event. Committee members who are in attendance, please stand as your name is called if you're here. And there are many that aren't able to make it tonight, but still, again, I'm going to go over them and let you know who they are. Amy McMorty Mayo is our secretary, as I said. John Wyan, Mike Davidson, John Dagan, Gene Maston, Rich Head, Kate Gleason-Secondo, and Brett White. At many of these events, there are former Hall of Fame members also in attendance this evening. Please stand to be recognized if you're here this evening, okay? I believe I see a few of them, Hall of Fame. Special thank you once again to the Hornell Alumni Association. At this time, I'm pleased to introduce Alumni Treasurer Angela Daniels-Markle, who will share a few facts regarding the HSS alumni.
Thank you, Tom. And congratulations to all our inductees. We have another beautiful group going in. I just want to give you a heads up, a little something about the Alumni Association. This year, the Alumni Association raised $163,400 that we distributed to 58 students. We couldn't do it without your help. Keep sending your money. This is our, this is our news journal. And it's been probably for the last 15 years, we've done 80 pages plus. This year it was only 80, but still. It lets you know about the upcoming reunions, what's going on in sports, any kind of school news. And, you know, and just so you know, you want a book, you got to pay your dues. It's $10. I'm sorry, I hold them hostage. You can't get a book unless you pay $10. Also, just so you know, last year we did like a 6-page spread on the inductees. So if you want a book next year for a keepsake, you got to give me $10. Other than that, that's it. Enjoy your evening.
Thank you, Angela. Okay, there's one thing I overlooked there when I asked former members to stand and be recognized. I just want to add to that with these new members this evening, you know, in years to come, if you're in the area and you hear about the Hall of Fame and you're able to come to honor who's ever being inducted in the current year, keep that in mind in years to come, okay? Because we try to notify as many people as we can to come to this event, you know, to recognize and keep it going. So keep that in mind if you would, okay? Very good. Moving on here. Okay, we're going to be eating dinner shortly here, but before we are, I'd like to introduce Father Stan, who's the pastor of Our Lady of the Valley St. Anne's Church here in Hornell, who will be leading this evening's event, invocation, excuse me. Following the invocation, the servers will direct you to the tables to eat. So, Father Stan, would you please do the invocation? We appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me to be here. Let us bow our heads and pray. Loving and merciful God, as we gather tonight, we reflect upon the talents and the gifts that you have given to us, that we have enjoyed through participation in sports, athletics. We ask you to continue to bless our inductees, our present athletes and coaches, their families, and their friends, as they guide and support one another in developing those talents. Help us, Lord, to remember that these gifts and talents also come with responsibility. You call us to give praise to you by the use of the gifts that you have given to us, and to use those gifts and talents in the service of others. As you continue to bless us, help us to remember that these gifts and all good things come from you. Help us always to do our best and never quit. To respect those whom you place in authority over us, whether they be coaches, teachers, parents, families, friends, and ourselves. Bless our gathering this evening and the food that you have provided for us, along with those who have prepared it. To you, God, be glory and honor forever and ever. Amen.
Dinner, as you can see, so we will start, and everybody else can follow. Okay. Okay, you ready? Guess we can stand, guys, and do it. Have our dinner.
Man, these are small. Yeah, I got that. It is like 8-point font.
I was trying to read it earlier, I think it was. Alrighty, we're gonna introduce you. Okay. Okay, we're gonna be starting, excuse me, we're gonna be starting our introductions at this time. And at this time, I'd like to introduce our MC this evening, Mike D'Agatano. I had the pleasure of coaching indoor and outdoor track with for 13 years. Mike also coached cross country and is currently enjoying retirement after teaching 30 years. So, Mike D'Agatano.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you, Tom. Thank you to the committee. Again, Tom Fagnan, the chairman of the Hall of Fame committee. John Wyan, vice chairman. Amy McMorty Mayo, secretary. Amy, thank you for all the copies, except this one. 8-point font. Do I look like I can read 8-point font? I do mine in 16 now. Mike Davidson, John Dagan, Richie Head, Gene Maston, Katie Gleason Secondo, and Brett White. I have the pleasure of knowing many of them, going to school with many of them. Yeah, like Tom said, I coached, or I taught for 30 years, a couple of years at Alfred Elman, the majority of my time since 1996 in Hornell High School. And I had the privilege of coaching all of those years, 3 sports a year, 90 seasons, a lot of miles on school buses. But the bonds that I formed with many of these, it's nice to see these athletes. I did this last year to embrace athletes and honor athletes that I had a hand in just getting to know these fine men, young men and women. And we're all here because I think we believe in athletics. I mentioned it last year, the other side of education is somewhat of a cliche, but it's a very true cliche. I taught 10th grade English for almost all of those 30 years. I cannot remember who taught me 10th grade English in Hornell High School. But I remember just about every word my football coach said the last game of my high school career, the last time you put a jersey on for your team. So the memories, the friendships, the lessons, the discipline, the dedication, the teamwork, the commitment, the goal setting, and over the past couple of years doing this, the young men and women who have gone on to just these amazing lives. And I think in part, yes, your teachers, your parents, but your coaches as well. So let's hear it for all those coaches. Next, if you have a personal connection to one of these fine young inductees, if you are a parent, or a brother, or a sister, or a grandparent, or a great-grandparent, an uncle, if you played sports in high school, stand up. Who here played? How many family members played sports? Stand up, Joe. You played sports. And there's probably JV, YMCA, bitty basketball. I want you folks to look, all right, because your families believed in the importance of athletics as well. All right, they instilled in you their love not only of sports, but I think every one of these folks, you can. I didn't want to make you embarrass you, but I think, well, Jay, you can stay up. You can stand for the whole speech if you want. In fact, you could do this if you want. No, but you instilled something. That same love and passion that you had, you instilled in your children. Just talking to one of the dads out in the hallway. My boys grew up with Julian and Harky and Sam, and I think we're getting to the last generation who grew up without all the social media and the cell phones. Talked to Joe. Joe and I, close in age. 8:30 in the morning, my parents were like, "What are you still doing in the house?" And be home by dinner. And then you went out and you hit every playground in Hornell and played basketball and wiffle ball and softball and football. And I remember my boys. Harky, you remember any tag and release and the Kibbins out in the dark? As a teacher the past several years, I'm starting to see some of that go away, especially with the guys' athletics. Girls are still very social with their sports. They'll follow their friends, and the teams will build with that social aspect. I'm a little concerned about the future of athletics, so keep instilling that in your children as well. And that's really all I wanted to say before we get moving on. So thank you for that moment. And it was a privilege to coach, and I'll say a little more, but Jocelyn and Sam and Nick as well. Couldn't get Julian to run. Only the quarter miler. I do have a quarter miler story, though. All right, we're going to start. We're going to venerate the oldest, and according to my program, we'll move to the youngest. So we're going to start with Nick Ripple from the class of 2000. I had been coaching for just a couple of years in Hornell. Nick is a 2000 Hornell High School graduate who competed in basketball, soccer, and track and field. He played on the JV and varsity soccer team for 4 years, and after years of playing AAU basketball in the spring, joined varsity track and field as a senior, where he was a frequent point contributor at meets. He placed 6th in sectionals in the triple jump, a very technical event in the first season he ever tried it, and was part of the 4x100 meter, 400 meter relay team that went to the state finals. If you don't mind a little personal note, Nick and a couple of other athletes began a long tradition of Hornell High School boys who decided to come out for track their senior year. I would see these guys in the hallway after AAU basketball going, "What are you doing?" "Earn a varsity letter." And they would come out their senior year and they were just stellar and standouts. Mr. DeMarco had a lot to do with that accomplishment as well, so we're very proud of that. But a majority of Nick's athletic success came on the hardwood, where he played 3 years on the varsity basketball team with an overall record of 48-12. After his first 2 years playing with 2 other Hall of Famers and 1,000-point scorers, Brian Young, who came out for track his senior year, and Kyle Johnson, class of 1999. Nick stepped into the lead role in his senior year, where he averaged 20.3 points a game, 11.4 rebounds per game, scoring a double-double in 22 games that season. He helped take the Red Raiders to the Section 5 finals that year, where he was awarded the Grade 8 MVP as a senior. His dominance on the court also earned him Livingston County Player of the Year honors. He made all-leader first team and was invited to play in the Ronald McDonald All-Star Game, and finished his career with 946 points. A selfless player who probably could have hit 1,000 himself. At the conclusion of his senior year as a three-sport athlete, Nick was granted Evening Tribune Award for Athlete of the Year for his class. Following high school, Nick went on to play 4 years of basketball for St. John Fisher, Division III program, starting for the Cardinals in 3 of those years, and a team captain for 2. He helped the Cardinals win the Empire 8 Conference 3 different years, earning their way into the NCAA Division III tournament those seasons. Nick was named an Empire 8 Conference second-team All-Star 1 year and honorable mention 2 other years. He was the Rochester DNC Spotlight Player of the Week in his junior year after scoring 35 points in a home tournament game. In his career at St. John Fisher, Nick scored over 900 points and was ranked as one of the top shot blockers in the school's history. And just a little reference on that, when I played 1 year of college sports, when you get to college, everybody on your team was their athlete of the year. And a 3-sport varsity athlete and a 1,000-point scorer. So those are some outstanding credentials at that level. Nick currently resides in, is it Lima or Lima? I grew up my whole life. It's Lima, New York, with his wife and 3 children, and he teaches 6th grade science at Livonia and coaches. With coaching soccer? What do you coach? So he said he had his 20th college reunion last night. I think it was because of the football game, if you were there. By the way, I was going to throw a flag before I started, but if you were there, you know. And you coach soccer?
I coach
Basketball?
basketball, track and field.
Oh, there, track and field, there you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Nick Ripple.
All right. Let the old guy go first. Might have an early bedtime, right? No, I usually don't feel that old, but when you surround yourself by such young company, and then when the Evening Tribune couldn't come up with a picture of me because their archives didn't go back that far, then you realized it too. So yeah, sorry I couldn't make it last night. Hope everyone enjoyed it. I did have my 20-year college reunion. Also kind of shows the age. But when you look around and see kids at the school that are half your age and realize that it was over half your lifetime ago, kind of makes you realize how old you are. But also, 1 a.m. last night felt a lot different than it did 20 years ago. Anyway, such an honor to be up here. Grateful to be named a Hall of Famer. And when you listen to my stats, you might think that a lot of them are almost, right? You can look at my my numbers for basketball with scoring almost 1,000 points in high school, losing in the sectional finals in high school, almost 1,000 points in college, and never got past the Sweet 16 in our Division III tournament. Second team all-conference, and then not quite top 3 in the triple jump, but like Coach said, it was, first year thing, and it was fun. So I'm glad you guys recruited me. So for a while, I looked back at my career and thought I kind of came up just short. But really, as you get older, you start to realize that it's not really all about those statistics, but more the experience. The bonds I formed with a lot of the people I played with. I still have friends today that I played high school ball with. I still have friends from college that I played ball with. And it's really incredible to still have those friendships. I truly believe that sports are what helped really shape me into the person I became today. It was, as a child, I was very shy, and sports are kind of what opened me up and got me out of my shell. It's a place where I found comfort, gained confidence, and it formed me into a leader. So now I stand up in front of people as a career, they 11 and 12-year-olds, but still, never thought I'd be doing something like that. So, although I no longer play competitively, my passion for sports has taken me into coaching, where I've coached at the varsity level, modified level, and you can really see the impact that you have on kids from that side of things. This past year, I coached my daughter's 3rd grade basketball team. Yeah, that was my most challenging yet. When you're trying to teach kids just how to dribble and what the lines on the court mean, and they're off doing cartwheels. It's a learning experience, but for her, she went into that not so sure about basketball. She had dabbled with it, but never really played the game truly, and she left that season afterwards saying that it was her favorite sport. So, pretty cool. I see now more than ever the importance of getting kids off of devices and into sports, where they can grow in so many different ways. I encourage those of you having kids to guide them down that path. It will lead them to much bigger and better things in life. So wanted to congratulate all the inductees, and special thanks to my dad for always helping me along the way, developing my skills, really pushing me to become the player that I became and the athlete I became. My mom and Bill for always attending so many games through high school and then again in college, even on the road. And my brothers for being so darn competitive and driving me to always want to beat them, even when it was Nerf basketball in the house. That's where it all began. My sister for beating me into the Hall of Fame and putting me in my place. And to all my coaches and teammates along the way. My family for giving me a new avenue to continue with my passion for sports. And a thank you to all the Hall of Fame committee for selecting me to be a part of this elite group. So thank you for being here, and I hope everyone has a good night.
It's my whole life. So Nick must have peeked at my unwritten speech. He read my mind. So as an English teacher for 30 years, I always had the benefit of sneaking back to my classroom after a practice and typing all this up. I realize now that I've retired, I don't have a computer anymore, and that's okay. So I'm really kind of winging this, but one of the other things I had thought about was when I can ask you to stand again, but that was one of my thoughts. How many parents or friends or relatives here had some role in coaching these people when they were younger? Joe, raise your hand. Youth football. See, I volunteered for youth football with Joe. I had 2 responsibilities on Sunday mornings. It was my job to take the clipboard and count the number of plays to make sure all the athletes got the number of plays in.
That was very important.
It was very important, but not important. The real job was keeping Joe from getting kicked out of the games by the referee.
It only happened a couple.
Calm down, Joe. It's youth football. It's Sunday morning. My wife would go get coffee and just. All right, next up. This one's personal. This one's great. Talking about getting kicked out of the house and go play. Mr. Julian Reinhardt. My 3 boys, Joseph Jr., Julian, they grew up together, across the street from each other. And you could see, no wonder they had such success in high school athletics. They just played every day, they played competitively, and I got one more story for Joe. I promise, last one. There was one day when JJ, Julian, my boys are playing football in my side yard. And I don't know what happens, but hard to believe it. He was the smallest one out there, I think, at that time. Now I can't even hug him, but he was the smallest one. And I hear screaming and crying, and my wife comes running. What's going on out there? I don't know. They're playing. They'll be all right. Joe comes out on his porch. and he sees Julian crying. And he simply yells, "Julian, stop being such a crybaby." You don't know how close you came to my wife killing you that day. Mama Bear was a little upset that your dad just told you to suck it up. Rub some dirt on it. All right, here we go. Now, but that was a wonderful experience, and how many of you also, the friends you grew up with playing every day. Julian Reinhardt graduated from Hornell High School in 2013, earning 6 varsity letters in football and basketball. He was a member of 1 sectional championship basketball team, 3 sectional championship football teams, thanks to Florence Street football, 2 state champion football teams, and 1 runner-up state champion football team. And it is true, the guys on that team, from the time they were little through high school, they played together for years. It wasn't just 1 sport a season. They played every sport all year long together. They knew how to be teammates. Julian played 3 years of varsity football and served as a team captain his senior year. On offense, Reinhardt had 63 career receptions for 1,059 yards and 11 touchdowns. He also had 38 career rushes for 182 yards and 2 touchdowns. As a cornerback, Julian recorded 126 career tackles, 10 interceptions with 1 return for a touchdown. Julian was named the first-team Livingston County All-Star as a senior. He also earned most valuable offensive player of the state quarterfinal game and most valuable defensive player of the state final game as a senior. Julian played 3 years of varsity basketball and served as a team captain his junior year and senior year. He was part of the Livingston County Division I and Section 5 Class B championship team as a senior. He was named first team Livingston County All-Star as a junior and senior, Spectator A Player of the Year as a senior, and 6-team All-State for Class B as a senior. After high school, Julian attended Alfred University, where he would continue his basketball career and major in accounting. Julian played 4 years and served as a team captain for 2 of those years. As a starter his sophomore year, Julian helped lead Alfred University to a 19-8 record and a runner-up finish at the Empire 8 Men's Basketball Championship, while averaging 8 points per game and 3.5 rebounds per game for the Saxons. As a junior, Julian averaged 12.3 points per game and 5.6 rebounds per game in his best season at AU, and was voted MVP by his teammates as a junior. While at AU, Reinhardt started 58 out of 103 games. Julian started 58 out of 103 games, scored 752 points, pulled down 367 rebounds, and recorded 160 career assists. Julian graduated in 2017 from Alfred University with a bachelor's degree in accounting, and in 2019 with a Master of Business Administration, focused in accounting. Did you do some coaching for them during that time too? Didn't you? Yeah. As a graduate assistant as well for Alfred University. Julian is the son of Michelle and Joseph Reinhardt Sr. and brother to Joseph Reinhardt Jr. and Selena Maldonado, who someday will be sitting up here as well. He resides in Hornell, New York, and works as a project control analyst for CHBWV in West Valley, New York. Julian is honored to share the spot in Hornell High School Hall of Fame with his Aunt Dawn Reinhardt, an outstanding athlete who I was lucky to work, teach, and coach with. A member of the 2007 Hornell High School Hall of Fame induction class herself. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Julian Reinhardt.
Yeah, get my speech going here. Yeah, I got it. We're good. You guys hear me? Pudgy. I'm getting to it, I swear. All right, thank you, Mr. Deck, for the introduction. Thank you, Mr. Deck, for the introduction, and appreciate everybody having me here tonight.
So first off, good evening. My name is Julian Reinhardt. That's what I have in my speech, so I gotta say it. First of all, I'd like to thank the Hornell High School Sports Hall of Fame Committee, Amy McMorty Mayo, Tom Fagnan, John Dagan Sr., John Wyan, Richard Head, Kate Gleason Secondo, Gene Masson, Mike Davidson, and Brett White, for selecting me as one of the 5 inductees of this 2024 induction class. And for putting on a great weekend year in and year out. Thank you to Johnny Carbone and the rest of the staff here at the main place for hosting such a wonderful event to celebrate a great honor. I was fortunate to work for Johnny during my high school days and made some great memories with some great workers while I was here. You could often find me grilling with my good friends Matt Smith and Brendan Bish, and more often you could probably hear us yell, "This one's burnt, can't go out," before scarfing down a perfectly fine piece of chicken. Thank you to Peisch for filming this event and for filming what seems like almost every Hornell athletic competition during my life and to this day. We appreciate it, Peisch. I was fortunate to be coached by Peisch in biddy, senior biddy, and Sunday school basketball. And we were able to win a biddy championship my 6th grade year in the old YMCA. Also, congratulations to Peisch on receiving the Twin Tiers Sports Lifetime Achievement Award this past summer. A round of applause. Before I continue on, I also want to congratulate the fellow inductees. I mentioned I was able to play with some of them, the great athletes that they were, and obviously I got to watch Sam and Jocelyn a little bit more than I played with them, and incredible things. I didn't get to really watch Nick, and he was sitting here, and he went to Fisher, and I was like, I don't really know if I like that guy because I went to Alfred, and he coaches at Livonia, so I'm sitting up here trying to find something to nitpick about him, and he's got a beautiful family, and I'm like, this guy's just great. I have nothing bad to say about him. So, anyway, congratulations to everybody. Sorry, I gotta continue on with this speech. All right. I also want to thank any other person who took the time to take photos or videos of some of the teams that I played on during my career. It's incredibly selfless to you to donate your time to capture some lifelong memories for athletes and their families when you could have easily just sat and enjoyed the game. Steve Harrison, Mark Mahoney, Robert Simmons, Tammy Donovan, Billy Smith were a few names that came to mind. I looked back with a smile at more than a few of the pictures that they captured while I was writing the speech. I would like to thank my coaches, teammates, as I mentioned, some of who are in the audience and are getting inducted or have already been inducted, for being there and supporting me every step of the way through the good and the bad. It was an honor to play for great head coaches like Coach Maston, Coach Scholes, and Coach Warner in high school. And then to be able to play and coach with another great coach at Alfred, Coach Phillips. And I can't forget all the great assistant coaches, youth coaches, and parents for all that they did for me. A lot goes into coaching or being the parent of a young athlete. Those who sacrifice their time for young athletes often receive little to nothing in return and are doing it out of the kindness of their hearts and for the love of the sport. The memories I made and the lessons that I learned have and will stick with me through my entire life. While I don't have the time to thank you all personally by name from youth to college, please know that you have made such a positive impact and made my life so much better. You know who you are. Thank you. Thank you, Aunt Dawn and Bill, for coming tonight. It's nice to join my Aunt Dawn, although still not at your level of athletic accomplishment since you're part of both the Hornell High School Hall of Fame and Alfred State Hall of Fame after having successful careers in soccer, softball, and basketball at the high school and college level. Some of my first memories of Hornell High School athletics was when my dad would take me and my brother JJ to watch your games. He coached a varsity softball team. And I thought my dad could coach with high energy and yell loud while he was coaching. Of course, Mr. Duggar already beat me to the ejection jokes, but that's all right. But even though you're just a little bit, even though your voice is just a little bit higher than my dad's and you just might be a little bit shorter, you guys are still pretty comparable with coaching styles. And everyone can definitely tell that you two are related. Thank you, Andon. I love you. Uncle Charlie. Excuse me. Skipped. I want to thank my Aunt Alice, Uncle Joe, Uncle Charlie, and Aunt Ann for coming down from Elmira tonight. I know Aunt Alice, Uncle Joe, and Aunt Ann made it to as many games as possible and were able to watch a good amount of them on the Time Warner cable when they would stream them back in the day. Thank you guys for coming. I love you. Uncle Charlie, you made it basically to all my college and high school sporting events. I understand how much time and travel went into following my career, and thank you for that, for always being there. I want to also thank you for introducing me to different things like skiing and fly fishing, although I wasn't able to ski or fly fish as much as I wanted to with you. I'll never forget the first time you took me and JJ skiing. I couldn't even stay on my skis for more than 2 seconds. Every time I fell, I'd stay on the ground for a good 30 seconds. You'd have to ski up. You'd say, "Okay, you okay? All right, get up." Down the mountain we'd go. I think by the time I was better at skiing, by the end of the day, I was better at skiing backwards than I was forwards. I don't know how that happened. I also want to thank you for not fighting that guy on the highway after a disagreement that saw both our truck and the guy pull over, get out. He looked at you, and you looked back at him. He picked up a rock, so you picked up a rock, before he made a smart business decision and got back in his truck and drove off. You got in, and you said, "Don't say anything to your mom and dad." We thought it was the coolest thing ever. Thank you for always being there for me. I love you. I want to say thank you to my mom, dad, brother, my mom, dad, my brother JJ, my little sister Selena, Angela, and Beth. Angela, you always bring high energy and a loud voice that people can hear from the town over and they never forget. You have an infectious personality and are supportive of both teams, no matter the score or the outcome. Thank you for always being there for me and supporting me, but most of all, thank you for always being there for my mom and my little sister when I couldn't be. Love you, man. Beth, thank you for coming to my games and supporting me, always. And having to deal with my dad that one time that he got tossed out of my AU game, and the ref looked at him and said, "We're not starting this game until you leave." To his defense, the opposing coach slammed the clipboard, flew into the stands, and it hit a couple of girls that were on the softball team. And my dad didn't think that was very sportsmanlike, and he knows all about sportsmanship, so he would know. Anyway, my dad just went out the door, up into the balcony at the AU gym, and watched the rest of the game. Back to you, though, Beth. Thank you for putting on great Thanks Christmas spreads, making the world's best peanut butter pie, and always having fun with us during the Bills games, even though everyone knows I'm not a true fan. Love you. Selena, I love you so much. It makes me proud to watch you compete in all the sports you play. My favorite thing to do is to watch you play, and it's great seeing you excel on the field, court, and track, while also excelling in the classroom. I know you think me, Mom, your dad, and JJ are your biggest critics, but it's only because we love you and we want to see you do the best that you can do. Right, Ange?
That's right.
I know you'll be successful in whatever you take on and whatever life throws at your way in the future, because you are hardworking, have a positive attitude, and a great personality. Maybe after being inducted, you'll finally believe me when I say, "Hey, I could play back in the day." Anyways, I can't wait to see what the future holds in store for you, and I'll be there always for you. I love you. JJ, thank you for being there. No me start that over. JJ, thank you for being the best big brother, my first best friend, and my first true rival in my life. JJ was tough, scrappy, and would do everything and anything to gain a competitive advantage. And he certainly wasn't afraid to give anyone his opinion at any given time. I spent years trying to beat him in any game that we could come up with. And when I didn't, he usually let me know for a while that he beat me and would laugh at me when I tried to fight him. Even when I could get my hands on him, get a couple punches in, a couple jabs, he'd still just laugh every time. He'd just keep laughing. This is the most frustrating thing in the world. From two-hand touch street football with the Decatano boys on Florence Street, to driveway basketball / wrestling, that's what it turned into a lot of times. We've certainly been through it all. You were always there for me and supported me throughout my career. I thank you and love you, Rob. Just my mom and dad left. Sorry if I'm being long-winded. Mom, thank you for setting an example for what it takes to be successful. You're the hardest working and most caring person I know, and I love you so much. Thank you for always loving and supporting me in everything that I do. Thank you for also holding me accountable and making me responsible. Even though if you asked her, she would tell you, if it involves sports, June will be ready an hour beforehand, no matter what. Even if it's a practice, a film session, a weight training session, or just getting to the bus for an away trip. But when it comes to school, he could care less if he's a half hour late. At least I was able to get a few 80s and 90s in school so I could keep playing sports, since I learned very early that your school performance determines if you can play and how much time you can dedicate to playing. Finally, I want to say thank you, and I'm proud of you, Mom, and all that you have accomplished in your life. For moving across country and having 2 sons in your early 20s to right now, it certainly has never been easy. Being employed in different stores and working your way up to manage your own stores was difficult, but I always believed in you, just like you always believed in me. You've been the epitome of putting your head down, continuing to work hard, and doing everything in your power to give your children the best life. We're also fortunate to have you, know you, and Selena, JJ, myself are the most fortunate because we get to call you Mom. I love you, and thank you again. Dad, thank you for always being there and coaching me and everything as a child. You held me and my friends to high standards when you coached us because you knew how great we could be if we were just pushed a little harder every practice, every season, and every year. Your style of coaching is not seen too often today, but I speak for myself, and I think a majority of my friends and teammates, when I say thank you for coaching and caring as much as you did. A few kids and a few teams that earned some big accomplishments may have never been able to do so if it weren't for you there to say, keep going. You can do it. Just work a little bit harder. And that includes myself. While some people may have seen this as hard-nosed coaching, may have seen this hard-nosed coaching style as tough love and over the top, I can confidently say that I needed it, and without it, I would not be the athlete or person that I am today. Sorry, lost my spot. Your impact on me can be summed up in a couple of stories, and I know everybody has a few stories about my dad, or maybe 10, especially if you know him. And he's certainly quite the character. But a few stick out to me. Like when you would ask about a kid that may have acted out in class or not been that great at football or baseball or basketball, and I'd say, Dad, you know, that kid's not really a great kid. He doesn't act right in school, and he's not even really that good at sports. You'd look at me and you'd say, son, we might not need him, but he needs us. And someday you'll understand that involving everybody is more important. He would reach out to their parents to see if they wanted to play. Sometimes these kids that parents, may not have been able to come up with the means to play, and would literally pick kids up by the truckload at times. If a kid's parents couldn't afford to sign their kid up, my dad didn't care, and he would do everything in his power to try to get them to join the team just so that they could play, no matter what. Those same parents would reach out to my dad and get him on the phone if the child started acting up in school or being a pain at the house, because they knew that they listened to Coach Reinhardt, and they knew there would be consequences at practice or no playing games if they continued their bad behavior. After practice, you would always tell us, go home. Excuse me, let me start that over. After every practice, you would tell us, go home, do your homework, help your mother clean off the table after dinner, and tell her that you love her. Thank you for all the lifelong and valuable lessons. I love you. In closing, I want to thank anyone I didn't mention supported me or watched me during my career. I hope you had half as much fun watching me as I did playing. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you, Julian, for those heartfelt words. And you see, I wasn't making those stories up, by the way. You forgot it. He did forget his accomplishments in the Maple City quarter miler. I still have the Polaroid of you and Nick on it. You guys were barely as tall as the podium back in the day. All right. Peisch had a lot to do with that, too. Kiwanis. All right. Our next inductee, Mr. Samuel Stonerock, class of 2011. Sam Stonerock is a 2011 graduate of Hornell High School who excelled in football, basketball, and track and field. Sam is best known for his accomplishments on the football field, where he played fullback, running back, and outside linebacker for the Hornell Red Raiders in 2009 and 2010. And I apologize, Sam, you've probably heard this 1,000 times. But when you grow up with a name like Sam Stonerock, what else are you going to be? You're going to be a fullback and a linebacker. All right? There you go. No, and I had the pleasure of also watching Sam grow up with my boys and play football. Sam helped lead his team to 2 state titles in 2009 and 2010, with 2 13-0 undefeated seasons. Sam was awarded Livingston County All-Star First Team in 2009 and 2010, as well as Most Valuable Defensive Player Award for the regional playoff game against Cheektowaga and a semifinal game against West Hill in 2009. It's okay, you guys can boo for West Hill, we all hate it. Yeah. Sam ended his 2009 season with 88 tackles and 9 sacks as an outside linebacker, while running for 334 yards and 3 touchdowns as a fullback. During his senior year, he was awarded First Team All-State and Player of the Year awards for both sides of the football, offense and defense, including the Section 5 Defensive Player of the Year for Class B and Offensive State Player of the Year for Class B. Sam also received Most Valuable Offensive Player awards in the regional playoff game against Alden, the semifinal game against Shenango Valley, and the state championship game against Shalmont in the 2010 season. Sam also played in the Upstate versus Downstate All-Star game held at the Carrier Dome in Syracuse. Sam ended his 2010 season with 98 tackles, 12 sacks, and 1 interception as an outside linebacker, while also rushing for 2,010 yards and 30 touchdowns as a running back. See, fullbacks block, running backs get ticket. I just got to tell all you guys, a lot has happened in the past couple of years. I've met a lot of people who know our football team. I've met people from Nanuet and Shalmont and downstate. Those people still talk about these football games. excuse me, Father, these were one hell of a football team. And they've all been, when complete strangers come up to you, Hornell, that was that football team, yeah. After graduation, once in a generation. After graduation, Sam attended Morrisville State College to pursue a degree in natural resource conservation and renewable resources. He also played 1 year of football, where he started as a running back for the Morrisville Mustangs. Sam now lives in Dansville with his wife, Alexandra Hanrahan Stone Rock, and their 2 children, Henry and Callie Mae. Sam is the proud owner of a local residential tree service, Stone Rock Tree LLC, serving Hornell, Dansville, and surrounding communities. If you need any references, I can vouch. Did a great job. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Samuel Stone Rock.
Good evening, everyone. How we doing tonight? Thank you, everybody, for having me here. Everybody on the committee for nominating me. It's quite the honor. Thank you very much. Congratulations to all the other inductees. I got to play with a couple of them and enjoyed every bit of it. Get to spend almost every day with another one of them. Can't say I enjoy that all that much. It's all right. But special thanks to my family, my mom and dad, who would not miss a game if it killed them. So they were there for everything and supported me through everything, whatever I wanted to do. My dad was at every single practice, every single game without fail. You know, cleaning my dirty clothes. He did it all. And my mom kept us fed, that's for sure. I remember many times up at our house she had to set 7 or 8 more placemats because all the buddies were over, and she had to keep us beefed up for football season. So she did a very good job for that. Thank you, Mom. Love you. She also loved telling me to run when I would get the football. I could hear her screaming, "Run, Sam, run!" Like I didn't know what to do when I got the ball. But she was very adamant about it, and I listened to her. Also like to thank my teammates. I moved here in 2009, the middle of the school year. I didn't know anybody, and I made connections through sports. All my friends were, played sports with me, and they took me in, and I thank you guys for that. Made it easy, and it was easy to call this place home after just a short time. Like to thank all my coaches, Gene Maston, Coach Degg on the track field. But Coach Maston definitely instilled in us some qualities. He expected us to give our utmost, effort, and if he felt you weren't doing that, well, he certainly let you know, and that just wasn't going to fly. So it was expected of us every single practice, every single game, to give all of our, give 100%. And that's what we did, and we loved doing it. But had a great time doing it. Thank you for the community of Hornell, going out, just being a part of the community. Everybody asks, or everybody wanted to know, how's the football going? How's the team looking this year, And then once the season was over, it's congratulations, you guys did a great job. And just felt a whole lot of love all around the community, and that went a long way. But yeah, thank you for everybody that that helped us get here, and appreciate the nomination. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Next up, Richie Harkenrider, class of 2013. Richie graduated Hornell High School in 2013, earning 8 varsity letters in football, 3, baseball, 4, and wrestling, 1. He was a member of 2 football state championship teams and 1 runner-up. He played a huge role on both sides of the ball as both quarterback and defensive back. Not only did he excel in football, but also baseball, winning 1 sectional championship along the way. Richie was a 4-year starter on the varsity baseball team. During Richie's high school football career, he received multiple awards and achievements. In 2011, he was awarded the Section 5, Section 6 Regional Class 8 Most Valuable Defensive Player. That would be the Western Regional Playoff game. He received that same exact award for the New York State Public High School Athletic Association semifinal Class B game. He was selected as a member of the 2011 New York State Sports Writers Association All-State Football Class B second team defense. Richie led the 2011 state championship team as a junior in multiple categories on defense. He led the team defensive tackles, 91, sacks, 9, forced fumbles, 2, to help continue their historic and undefeated run. In 2012, Richie's senior season, he received Section 5 Class C Most Valuable Defensive Back. In 2012, Richie's senior season, he received the Section 5 Class C, He was selected for New York State First Team All-State Class C Defense and the Livingston County Athletic Association Football All-Stars First Team. On the offensive side of the ball, Richie had a record-setting year. He achieved Hornell's single-season touchdown record with 24 touchdowns, along with the single-season passing yards. Along with the season passing yards, 1,584. When football season was over, he made his way over to the baseball diamond. Richie thrived when he was on the pitcher's mound, with a career record of 12-2. With his only 2 losses coming as a sophomore. Next page. This is what got me in trouble last year on the field. He was 5-0 as a starter and 3-0 as a senior, with his season being cut short due to injury. He racked up a total of 131 strikeouts with an ERA, impressively, of 1.17, along with 2 no-hitters and multiple one-hit games throughout his career. He was a member of the 2011 Section 5 Class B Championship team and was selected as a member of the 2012 Livingston County Baseball All-Stars Division I team. After high school, Richie continued his baseball career at the collegiate level as a member of the 2013 through 2016 Cortland Red Dragons, winning a Division III national championship with the Red Dragons in 2015. He was also a member of the 2014 Hornell Dodgers, now Steamers, collegiate baseball team. While at Cortland, Richie made the Dean's List and was awarded the Anthony P. Tesori Award for student teaching. He went on to receive a Bachelor of Science in Education degree from the State University of New York at Cortland. After graduating from Cortland, Richie taught physical education and health at Canisteo Greenwood Central School District from 2017 through 2019, where he was the head coach for the modified baseball, football, and varsity baseball teams. He coached the Hornell Raiders Cooperstown baseball travel team from 2017 through 2020, alongside his father, Bill. Talk about getting back to the community, right? Richie currently resides in Canisteo, New York, and is employed with Stone Rock Tree Service, LLC. He's getting a raise for this award, right? Promotion. He also works for Fresh American Hops. He is the son of Bill and Nikki Harkenrider and the younger brother to Zach Harkenrider. Richie is very honored to share this Hall of Fame spot with his late grandfather, Robert Flight Sr., class of 1954. Who was a member of the first Hornell High School Hall of Fame induction class of 1988. It's pretty cool. His grandfather was one of his biggest supporters, and that's a little bit of what I meant earlier on, I guess. He also shares a spot with his great uncle, Jake Flight's class of 1951, Joe Piccarello, 46, Hall of Fame class of 1993, cousin Linda Piccarello Hinckley, class of 1968, and Hall of Fame class of 2002. And his late cousin, classmate of mine and good friend, Andy Flights, class of 1980. One of the funniest guys and best swimmers I ever knew. Hall of Fame class of 2006. Ladies and gentlemen, the rest of your family saying it's about time you joined us, Mr. Richie Harkenrider.
Like Jules, I got it on my phone.
Wing it. Wing it, Art.
So first of all, thank everyone for coming tonight. I would like to sincerely thank everyone on the committee for choosing me for this wonderful recognition. It is certainly one of the most meaningful and honorful things I've ever been a part of. So thank you, Amy Mayo, Tom Fagden, John Dagan, John Wyan, Richard Head, Kate Gleason, Gene Maston, Mike Davison, and Brett White. Thank all you for selecting me. First, I'd like to thank my family, my mom and dad. Thank you guys for all the sacrifices that you've made, the countless cross-country trips, the late-night practices, the endless hours of games. You guys never miss a single second of it, so I thank you for that. This, not only you guys didn't miss anything, it came with countless emotional roller coasters along the journey. You guys all dealt with that tremendously, so I thank you for that. Your love and commitment to the family is just unmatched. I'll never be able to stand up here and tell you everything and how grateful I truly am for everything you guys did for me. You guys deserve the world, so thank you. To my older brother, Zach, I thank you. I thank you for the examples you set for me. You were an inspiration for me to chase throughout my younger years. I looked up to you not only on the field but off the field as well. Thank you for being the man you are, and you allowed me to model myself after someone. So I thank you for that. To all my coaches, I thank you. To my teammates, as I sit up here with some of you guys today, I wouldn't be up here without you. From youth all the way up through college, you guys really took me for a ride, and I can't be more grateful for the times we have now and the times we're going to have in the future. The journey, the journey we traveled has been a wild one. You guys supported me through the ups and downs, through the bad and the good. The memories we made, the lessons we learned, they'll stick with me through a lifetime. So to you guys that are sitting up here with me today, thank you. I'd like to thank all my coaches, my teammates from youth, Julian Reinhardt right from the get-go, I thank you. All the way up through my college career. Let's see. So the lessons I learned, like I said, they'll stick with me through a lifetime. I can't be more grateful for everything you guys have done. For the people that I've missed, I thank you for the support. If you were watching me throughout my career, I hope you enjoyed the journey, the ups and downs, and I really am truly blessed to be up here. So I'll keep it short and sweet, and I truly thank all of you. Thank you.
tap. We have time. Made me smile a couple of times up here. I was talking, so I did. The whole time my boys were growing up watching the high school sports. One more time, that's all I ever hear. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Harky. Even in my classroom.
You're right.
All right, last but not least, near and dear to my heart, this one too. Miss Jocelyn Acor, class of 2014. I had to go back into the record book too. Hang on. Glad my wife didn't call.
Get the Bible out.
There we go. All right. Jocelyn Acor graduated from Hornell High School in 2014. During her time at HHS, she earned 13 varsity letters in track, soccer, basketball, and 1 in softball. Her most notable sports being soccer and track. She was a member of 3 Section 5 championship teams, 1 for track, of which she was a major contributor, and 2 for soccer. She also earned 9 individual Section 5 championships in track.
Go, man.
And you can go to a Section 5 Class B track meet today, and Jocelyn's name's still on the second page of the program, holding the records in one of the In 2010, as an 8th grader, she placed first in the 800-meter run at the Twin Tier Invitational. That's before she realized how far that race really was. And probably never ran that one again. No. At Wellsville Spring Day, she placed first in the 200 and 400-meter runs, which would become her wheelhouse. She was the Livingston County Invitational champion in the 200, the 400, oops, you ran it again, and the 800-meter run, and was part of the winning 1,600-meter relay. She was Class B Section 5 champion in the 400-meter dash and co-champ in the 100-meter dash. At the state qualifier meet, so post-sectional meet, you have a state qualifier, you win, you go to states, everybody else gets a handshake and you go home. At the state qualifier meet, she finished first in the 400-meter dash and second in the 100-meter dash. In her first year attending the state meet, she placed 8th in the 100-meter dash and 4th in the 400, both times standing on the podium. In 2011, at the Twin Tiers Invitational, she placed first in the 100, the 200, and the 400-meter dashes. At the Ferd Stenta Invitational, which is Bath's big meet, she placed first in the 100, 200, and it was part of the winning 400-meter relay team. At the Wellsville Spring Day, the New York State's oldest track and field invitational, she placed first in the 100, the 200, and the 400, and was also the invitational MVP for track. She was the Livingston County Invitational champion, or what is now the championship meet, in the 100, so earning LCAA championships in the 100, 200, and 400. There's a pattern here. Jocelyn was Class B sectional champion in the 1, 2, and 400-meter dashes. At the state qualifier meet, this must be your second season, she placed second at the 100-meter dash, second in the 200-meter dash, and first in the 100-meter dash. And then at the state meet, her second year, she placed 8th in the 100, 4th in the 400, and was part of the 400-meter relay that placed 6th. I hope you still have all those medals. In 2012, at the Twin Tier Invitational, she placed first in the 1, 2, 4, was part of the 1,600-meter relay that placed second. At the Hornell Invitational, she was named the meet's outstanding performer with first place finishes in the 1, the 2, and was part of the winning 400-meter relay team. At the Wellsville Spring Day, she placed first in the 100-meter dash, the second place in the 2,000-meter steeplechase. The best race ever, and once again, the last time you ever probably ran that race. Looks good from the outside. No, time out. I have coached for 30 years, and in that time, I have had 2 athletes, one male and one female, who could be a state champion in the 100-meter dash, run a 400, anchor any relay you needed, and then run something like the steeplechase or a 3-mile. The other is in the Hall of Fame. You joined Mr. Brandon Pyre. The other is Jocelyn Acor. That is a rare thing. Where did I leave off? Oh, Wellsville Spring Day. There we go. Yes, the steeplechase. Second in the high jump. You did that? Sorry, Rip. Sorry, Rip. She didn't get. And was part of the 400-meter relay that finished second. She was the Livingston County Athletic Association individual champion in the 100. This would have definitely gotten me kicked off the football field.
Pages. Joss, you got 3 pages.
And the 400-meter relay that took first place. Jocelyn was the Class B sectional champion in the 100 and 200-meter dashes and took third in the high jump. Probably also giving up another, an athlete like Jocelyn often gave up an individual award to run these relays as well. At the state qualifier meet, she placed fourth in the 100-meter dash and second in the 200-meter dash. And at the state meet, she placed seventh in the 200-meter dash. And I think we're finally up to your senior year. In 2014, at the Twin Tiers, she placed first in the 1, the 2, as well as first place in the high jump. At the Hornell Invitational, first in the 100, part of the winning 400-meter relay, as well as a second place finish in the high jump. At Spring Day in Wellsville, first in the 100 and high jump, and a fourth place finish in the 2,000, you did do it twice, 2,000-meter steeplechase. By the way, that's the race with the giant barriers in the water jump.
Imagine that.
Cannonball.
Unbelievable.
Cannonball. And at Spring Day, it can be about 50 degrees sometimes. Let's see, yep, Spring Day. She was the Class B sectional champion in the 100 and 200-meter dashes. At the state qualifier meet, she placed second in the 100-meter dash and first place in the 200-meter dash, with her best state finals finish coming in her senior year with a second place silver medal in the 200-meter dash. In 2014, she was the Section 5 Class B1 meet record holder in the 1 and 2 and 400-meter dashes. I apologize, you've still got some of those. I've got to dig for that. She currently holds the school records, yes she does, in the 100 and 200-meter dashes, as well as the records for the 1 and the 2 at the Wellsville Spring Day. You forgot one.
.com.
You also have the Hornell High School 400-meter record of 57.01, and you're part of the school record 4x1 as well with Kalila Aubrey and Beanie Smith, Colleen Smith, other great athletes. If you're not a track and field aficionado or fan, there's been a couple of seasons on the boys' team I'd have given anything for a 57. So. All right, let's wrap this up. Well, we just got a little bit more to go here.
Another page.
What, yeah. Oh, soccer. You played soccer in your spare time? By the way, on distance runs, she'd go with the distance team. She'd come back ahead of everybody, too. In soccer, Jocelyn was the Livingston County All-Star first-team selection. She was a first-team All-Greater Rochester selection 2 years in a row, and a second-team All-State selection in 2013, when she helped her team get to the Class B New York State semifinals. She holds the school record for most goals scored in a season at 35 goals, ending her career with a total of 79 goals. In her senior year, Jocelyn was awarded the Debbie Van Scooter Award for the top female athlete at the Hornell High School. In 2020, Jocelyn was selected to the Section 5 girls soccer all-decade team, 2010 to 2019. Upon graduating in 2014, Jocelyn went on to attend Binghamton University, where she continued playing soccer at the Division I level. She played 16 games and scored 5 goals. Great career. By the way, there are a lot of girls in Steuben County, Section 5, and Livingston County were really glad when Jocelyn graduated. One last thing for all you athletes. I've seen many of you play injured. I know the sacrifices you make, the parents' sacrifices, the nerves. I mean, these stats you all have, the pressure that these young men and women dealt with in high school. I don't think sometimes we realize the pressure. Jocelyn, a perfect example. She terrified everybody in Section 5 and put a lot of pressure on herself. I just want to say one thing. I wish there was one person who could be here tonight. Coach Lisa Rosica. She loved you, and we know how much she meant to you and you meant to her. Lisa passed away a few years ago. All right. After finishing high school, Jocelyn moved back to Hornell and is currently employed by the United States Postal Service, and I so badly wanted to make this joke last night. If your mail is late, there's no way it's her fault. It'll be early. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Jocelyn Acor.
Okay. Ooh. Can I like shorten this a little bit? No? Okay. I'm Jocelyn Acor, for those that don't know. So I thought my days of public speaking were over, so just bear with me. Okay, sorry.
It's just like English class.
Yeah, that was the worst. It's nice to see so many familiar faces. I would like to start off by thanking Mr. Maston and Mr. DeMarco for the nomination, and the committee for accepting the nomination. It is truly an honor to be a part of the Hornell High School Hall of Fame and to join so many other amazing athletes who came before me. Now, this may be a little long-winded, but there are quite a few people that I need to thank. First off, Mrs. Hillman. Most definitely there the first time I touched a soccer ball, and I'm certain it was not the prettiest thing she'd ever seen. And she was right there with me walking off the field after our final game my senior year. Mrs. Hillman, thank you for always being so supportive and also tough when needed. Mr. DeMarco, thank you for always being so unbelievably amazing with your kindness and understanding, even though I was very upset about having to do long distance and sprinter workouts every day. It's very evident, I'm sorry for questioning you every single time. It's very evident in the outcome that you most definitely had the right formula to make me the runner that I was. I might grab this one, okay. Sorry. After my sophomore year of track, I got a little too in my own head. I knew I was good, but I knew that I could be better, and I put a lot of pressure on myself. Mrs. Rosica. Sorry. Who was sadly no longer with us, sat with me day after day, lunch after lunch, when my anxiety got the best of me. I would not have returned to track if it wasn't for her. Thank you. So even though you're not here, I love you, and thank you. Goodness gracious. All right, Mr. Wilkinson, Mr. Degatano, Mr. Fagnan, Mr. Costello, and Mr. Slate. Thank you for always believing in me and giving me all the tools I needed to be successful. Mr. Slate, I'm sorry I was such a pain in the butt, but you took it like a champ. To all my teammates over the years, thank you for always having my back and knowing that no matter what, I had yours. We did some pretty amazing things, and all of you are the reason I received this honor tonight. You all made me look really good. The varsity soccer team always worked so well together. We were a well-oiled machine. Everyone had a part, and everyone played that part very well. It was a fun team to be a part of. And with track being primarily an individual sport, you would have never guessed with how everyone stood and cheered while others were doing their events. It was a great group of guys and girls who truly cared about not just the event, but the athlete performing. Goodness gracious. Linda Mahoney, thank you for being my loudest cheerleader. If anyone was ever at a game or track meet I was participating in, then you definitely heard Linda yelling. And an extra thank you for taking me to a college visit that my mom wasn't able to take me to. To my 3 older brothers, Anthony, Joseph, and Christian, what can I say? You three did not make it easy for me, but because of you, I became the athlete I was. Tough, resilient, and driven to be the best I could be. Every sport you guys played, I was determined to play it. I wanted to be just like my cool older brothers, until my parents told me I wasn't allowed to play football and had to stick with soccer, which in the long run was definitely the better option. It was just a shame that Mom and Dad saved all the athletic abilities for me, and you guys only got a little bit. And yes, Anthony, I was faster than you.
Maybe not Joe.
Thank you for being so tough on me growing up and always believing in me. I love you guys. Mom, thank you for all the sacrifices you made. Jesus Christ. Raising 4 kids and one of them being Christian was not easy. We all played a sport at the same time all season, all year. You were running around like a chicken with your head cut off and getting us to every practice and every game while having to be at work every day long before the sun came up. Mom, there are no words to truly express how much I appreciate everything you did for me and the boys growing up, and still to this day. You may not have been the loudest, but you were definitely the proudest.
You're doing good,
All right, I didn't think I was going to cry until this part, but apparently I'm just not doing good today. To my dad, I wish you were here with us physically. But I know you're here in spirit. I even shortened this part so I wouldn't cry. Thank you, Dad, for your endless support and unconditional love. Because of you, I knew what it meant to work hard. It helped me then and still to this day. From youth soccer, when I couldn't even kick a ball, to my final varsity game and the hours-long meet you sat through, cheering me on, and after graduating high school, driving to Binghamton for every home game I had. Because of you both, and your unwavering support, you shaped me into the person I was and am. And I love you both. I really didn't intend to cry, sorry. So, thank you all for being here tonight. It's definitely a night I will never forget, and congratulations, guys.
Let's hear it for all of our inductees. What great speeches. I had them all for public speaking. You can thank me later. Joey, where are those Acor boys? I got to stand up for the boys track team just for a second. Real funny story that many of you probably do not know. One of the tremendous feelings of pride that Mr. DeMarco and I have is we've pretty much been able to rewrite the Hornell High School track and field record books. But there's one record that still stands. Since 1960, it is the boys' 400-meter dash record, 49.7. Oh, I got to like it. It was the 440 back then. And it was the 440. Mr. Phil Patty, who became a lawyer, and even and Judge Patty would still call Eric Schultz, another Hornell lawyer, every spring to scout out the Hornell track and field team. He only wanted to know one thing. Didn't care about how I was doing. He wanted to know if there was anybody that had a shot at his record. It's very difficult to break 50 in the 400 in Hornell for boys in sports. Jocelyn ran 57, but there was one who came over so close, your brother Joey. So I had to defend him for a second. Sorry, Phil. All right. Enjoy catching up with everybody. Enjoy your dessert. It's been a pleasure again. I totally winged it as well. just end with a couple of comments. Number one, I think all of these speeches just reinforce my opening comments. None of these fine young men and women would be here without you and your families and all of your constant support. And we're all part of one big family. Many of you played college sports, right? It's a little different at the college level. It's not quite the same as your hometown high school sports. So you know what I'm going to finish with. We always do. What are we going to say? Once a Raider, always a Raider. And by the way, those are bolted to the tables, and it's going to cost you a $10 membership fee down the street. Right, Angie? There we go. So if you want those plaques to go home, sign up for the alumni. All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you again, Mike, for being our MC this evening. You did a great job as usual. I'd like to recognize John Carbone at this time and his staff for providing such a delicious dinner this evening. Second to none. And I want to thank you all once again for being here honoring our new inductees. And hopefully some of you are in the area. You'll be back next year, as I said earlier, to recognize next year's people, hopefully. So once again, congratulations. Thank you all for being here. And stay around, because Bobby Peischer is going to be taking group photos, okay? So don't just run off here. We'll be taking group photos here in this room here. So once again, thank you all for being here, and safe travels home this evening.
Here to us you see one bringing fame unequal to age. The old timers don't know.
Okay, all the people here that are in the Hall of Fame over against this wall. So the wall, the names on the wall, so all the current people in the Hall of Fame over against the wall. We'll get some pictures quickly, and then we're going to do family photos. We'll be done in just in a few minutes, so everyone stay around.